growth over at Atlantic Beach and Bogue Banks and growth in Morehead depended upon the bridge. And the first bridge built from Morehead over to Bogue Banks was a 1928 bridge, which was actually on 28th Street. It was a drawbridge, meaning it would open up for the boat traffic, and that caused all kind of congestion on each side of the bridge, if you would, at Atlantic Beach and in Morehead. So it inhibited people that were staying over on Bogue Banks from coming across to shop in Morehead, as well as it inhibited people going to the beach. It would back almost all the way up to the community college when the bridge was open on a weekend with a heavy impact of cars. So it was a problem for sure. In 1953, they built what we call the New Beach Bridge. That was on 24th Street. It also was a swing bridge, which was like the drawbridge, so it caused traffic problems, but not as badly. That began to make it a little bit easier to get from the beach to Morehead to the beach. I'll tell you a story about that 1953 bridge. It was opened in the spring of 1953, but the actual grand opening ceremony wasn't until August of 1953. And I read in the Carteret County News Times that they were going to have a ribbon cutting, and the mayor of Morehead was going to cross, and the mayor of Atlantic Beach was going to cross. A neat ceremony that, again, being a history mind, that was something I wanted to do. Well, the day of that grand opening, I was down with my older brother down in his room, and he was in a dither as he usually was. I said, "What are you going to do?" He said, "Me and George Wallace are going to be the first two across the new bridge." I said, "No, you're not. I read in the newspaper it's going to be the mayor of Morehead and the mayor of Atlantic Beach." Well, when they clipped that ribbon, George Wallace and Truman rode their bikes across the bridge, and in the newspaper it said 2 unknown bike riders were the first ones across the Atlantic Beach Bridge. But then what they did in 1987, they built the current bridge, that's 23rd Street, and they built it as a high rise. Therefore, the boat traffic was not having to blow their horns and open up those drawbridges. They could go under it, which they still do today, and traffic continued to flow. And by that, Morehead business expands, as well as West Morehead expands. There's all kinds of business, shopping centers on each side of the road, Walmart, Belts, and all that stuff are out there. That's all because people could get there. Those on Bogue Banks could get there, and people from Morehead could easily get to Bogue Banks. So that builds up too. And so that's the growth, economic growth, that was perpetuated by the bridge.